So, all right, we are recording. It is Monday. It is October 30th. We've got an awesome couple months ahead of us here. We've got a double time launch happening tomorrow. We've got a little obsessed sneak peeks going on in the next week. Our UK business is exploding. Tons of great stuff. It's leadership week, but we're going to take some time right now to listen to Brooke King. She is just kicking butt and taking names across all the world, from the UK to the Canada to the US, and we're excited to hear from her this morning. We had to reschedule her because we got all caught up in the UK launch, and so I appreciate her being flexible with us and taking some time to share the things that she's been doing this year to make her business exciting. And so, Brooke, I'm just going to turn the time over to you, and then we'll have these guys. We'll grill you with a few questions, and we'll make it happen today. So, Brooke, take it away.
Awesome. So I guess we're just jumping right in.
We are. We jump in. You just give it to us.
All right. Well, I will let you know that I was at work writing down my notes when the power went out. So my notes are kind of jumbled, but I have kind of them in some sort of order. So we'll just go, first of all, with the UK. The UK has been really exciting for me. And nothing I say today is going to be mind-blowing or earth-shattering. But it's just kind of reminders of where, I've kind of gotten back to basics, and I've literally spent the last 2 to 3 months just inviting. And I haven't been, creating new things for my team or anything, because I felt like I kind of always would do that first and not focus on my business. So I've literally just been inviting for the past 2 to 3 months, which really paid off with the UK launch. And like Amy Silverman, I think she posted in the roundtable about how exciting it is talking to these people. It really is. And it's kind of rejuvenated me and made me remember what it was like to get started 2 or 3.5 years ago. Because these people don't have cousins that are coaches, and they don't have best friends that are coaches, and they're really excited, and they love Beachbody, and they love Shanti. So I've had a lot of fun talking with them, and then I added them all into my I had them separate team pages going into the launch, and then I added them all into my regular team page, and it's really kind of sparked my old team, because they're very active, and they ask a lot of questions, and there's a bunch of them, so they kind of feed off of each other, which is kind of cool, and it's exciting. But I think that, spending all that time inviting has really paid off, and I don't plan on changing that, actually, because I think, we have enough resources. I've kind of come to the conclusion that there's plenty of resources for people if they want to be successful. So I've just kind of let them try and figure those out. Another thing that I did recently, so I was always somebody that was like, okay, as soon as you feel comfortable and you've started building your team, like fly away, start your own team page, really start doing that. But we've actually come back together. I had 2 of my top leaders come to me and ask if they should shut down their team pages and what I thought about that. And, after talking about that, we kind of decided that we're stronger together. So everybody's come back into my big team page, and it's been great, because I think that it shows everyone else that, there's more opportunity at the top, quote unquote, and that other people are being successful, not just me. And every single day there's one of us going in the team page live, whether it's with a tip or some sort of advice or some sort of motivation. And they're getting to see a lot of other people, which I think is cool. And now they get to meet people on everyone else's teams also, which when you actually see the people that are really going for it, the number's not huge. So I think that it's been great to help them find push partners to work with and move their businesses forward. So I think that's been great, is getting my leaders back together and kind of running it more as a team. I started I call it the Rising Stars group, because I saw that's what Melanie calls her team, and I've just, kind of started stalking Melanie too. I figure she knows what she's doing, so I should start doing what she does. And so I put all my leaders in there, and we have a call every Monday night. We had Keyshawn on the other night, and it was awesome. She really pumped all them up. But it kind of gives us a chance to run the group as a team. And I, played sports my whole life, so I like doing things as a team and getting buy-in from all the leaders. So that's been really helpful too. We kind of plan our schedule. We kind of talk about how we did clean week, or how we're going to do double time, or things like that, so that everybody's kind of on the same page. And it's cool to have more minds, obviously, like we do here, talking and brainstorming. So I mentioned that I follow Melanie, and so now I have started posting my workout every morning, because I know that's what she does. And so I tried that, and I don't know if there's an exact correlation But I have had the highest Success Club points I've ever had last month, and then I'm looking to beat that record this month. A lot of that has to do with the UK, but maybe because I'm posting my workouts.
Can I stop you there? When you say you posted your workout, what does that post look like, and what are you looking to get? Like, what type of interaction have you gotten from it?
So sometimes I do, like maybe once or twice a week, I do a video. Other times I do a post, but mainly it's branding towards like working moms and I talk a lot about how if I don't get up and do it in the morning, then it stresses me out all day and that I'm not going to do it. So it's kind of giving them the motivation. And then I always tell them that, they can join my accountability group if they want some extra accountability.
You put that in your workout post. So you're not just like piquing interest per se. It's doing that, but there's also, so, like, hey, if you want to join me in this, message me. That's in every workout post that you do.
I'd say probably 3 times a week I talk about the accountability group.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So, but I think that it's also an easy post, right? Because I do rush off to work every morning, so I always have a hard time figuring out what to post. And if you do your workout, then I think that that's accountability for me, and it's also something to post about, which I guess has been working out pretty well. I don't get a ton of interaction, like comments and stuff, but it has turned into some SC points, so that's exciting. Something else I've been doing is in my challenge groups. I've been, you have the big group, and then I've been breaking them down weekly into small teams. So I put everybody in like teams of 3 or 4, and I switch it up every single week so that every single day, the post that goes up in the morning, it says, post your accountability here and tag your team. And so they have to tag all of their little teammates. And I think that that's really helped with accountability. And I've seen better results than what I have in the past, because people are paired up with strangers almost. And I think sometimes strangers give you more accountability because you don't want to let them down. And so that's kind of worked well in my challenge groups, which is leading to people becoming coaches because they're getting really good results. So, and then like we've all talked about, I've been focusing on volume. So every week, like Melanie does, I do my little volume post. I only do that in my team page. I think I might start doing it on my timeline. But we focus on that, and we're actually doing recognition and rewards this month for 500, 750, and 1,000 PV.
Okay, sorry, I'm going to stop you there again. You do your volume post. What is a volume post?
So I do the top 3 every week. We talk about the top 3
volume producers, and you look at their PV, how much PV they produce, and those are the top volume producers of the week that you recognize.
Yep.
And this drives people to shoot to be the top 3.
Because a lot of people, I feel like, have gotten frustrated with Success Club, but they're having sales. And so they're not getting recognized because we weren't focused on volume. But now, I've tried to focus a little bit on both, because I still want Success Club for elite. But I've tried to, talk about volume as well, and how that's, direct correlation of who you're helping in helping them, even if it's just getting a bottle of Shakeology or whatever. So yeah, we've been focusing on that, and we're giving out prizes. And so all of my leaders are like paying for their people. So any diamond and above is paying for whoever earns that prize. And then what else are we doing? I used Becca's thing and did that cash for Christmas thing for how to earn $1,000 for Christmas. Oh, and then another thing we're doing for volume boosting, and I used to do this all the time as a new coach and then just totally forgot about it, is selling Shakeology. So we order a lot of like packets, and so I've been doing it and having success with it, and so now a lot of my team is doing it, and everybody's ordering like an extra box of Shakeology a month, which is volume producing for our team, and then they're selling it, and a lot of times that's turning into new challengers or new coaches even. I have gotten 2 diamond coaches out of people that just started out with Shakeology tastings, and then we just make this cute little recipe thing to stick in there, and send them off to them for however much, and do 7 at a time so that people can try it for a full week to see if they feel anything or see anything different with a week's supply of Shakeology. But that's really all I've been doing. It's exciting. I mean, really, I've been focused on the UK a lot. Has been kind of my thing for the past couple months. But that's all I have.
Awesome. Any questions for Brooke? So, Brooke, one of the things I love about what you or your story, I guess, and the way that you're approaching your business, and is that you're also working full time. So you're having great success with your Beachbody business. You're working it in your, in your fringe hours or in your, you know, before, after hours of your full-time job. And of course, I would say probably most of the coaches that, Jamie, Becca, or Moira, they're on with us, and those that will listen to the recording, like they also are probably dealing with or working with coaches who also have, full-time jobs or other types of careers. What advice, would you give to them that they could pass on to, their coaches that are also, they're trying to do Beachbody, but also manage a full-time job?
I think a lot of it comes down with setting the expectation, because a lot of coaches that I even add on, they see me working, but they're like, oh, I get home and I'm so tired and this and that and the other. And a lot of what we've been doing in our team is really trying to cast that vision and trying to really create the vision, of life in 3 years, maybe where we're not working, and having people see that it's worth putting in the time now and working till late hours and missing a show or two. I just don't watch TV anymore, really, except for Walking Dead. But, there's just sacrifices that have to be made, but I really try to show people that it's worth it. And here's what's going to happen, in a couple years down the road. But if you don't set the expectation, then people are just going to think that they can do 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, kind of. So I think it all comes down to really making people understand the work that's going to have to be put in order to be successful.
Great. No, I love that you use the term, casting vision and helping people see the long-term view and what paying it forward, will do for them. And I think that's what motivates all of us. I'm sure that's what motivates you and every coach on here is like, look, like there is opportunity in this coaching gig. Like I need to connect with it. Are there any types of more of like practical or like, hey, here's what I recommend, you do in terms of, spend 1 hour, in the morning before work, or, make sure that in terms of just the vital behaviors, or maybe using the business activity tracker form, like definitive, practical things that you've given them to try to help them be efficient with their time?
We use the business activity tracker. We've had a couple of different versions of them, but we kind of talk about doing things instead of like a power hour, doing power pockets. So, if you're working, like I always recommend getting your workout done in the morning, because literally it haunts you the rest of the day, and then stuff comes up after school, after work, and you just don't want to do it. So I think that if you do your workout in the morning, then, you find 15 minutes here, or 15 minutes on your lunch break, or 15 minutes after work before you pick the kids up, or after bedtime, is kind of when you get the most of it done. And if you mark it off, then because I've actually gotten really good at tracking recently. I've really put a focus on that and doing it through Teamsy. And I think that when you see what you're actually doing, you kind of come back and do better. So I've really encouraged people to track, even if they're just doing it throughout the day, so that they remember what they've done so far, so that they can be sure to cover all of the things throughout the day.
I love it. That's such good advice. I love that term too. Your power pocket. If you don't have a power hour, find a power pocket.
We do a lot of that. We talk about those a lot because everybody on my team works for the most part.
Wonderful. And I also, I've applied this in my own life. I've talked even a lot to my wife about it since having that call with Dara Laporta, about 3 weeks ago or so, she talked about finding those, if you want to, I like using that term, find the power pocket when you're at your best, as opposed to when you're exhausted mentally or physically or emotionally. Like if you're trying to work the business in those hours, you're probably not going to be, at your best. So find those power pockets and be disciplined enough that where when you are giving the time to your business, find the time when you can be at your best. So if you're trying to do it when you're exhausted, that's going to come across in your probably in what you post. It's not going to be as exciting, or your follow-ups aren't going to be as enthusiastic. You're not going to be at your best. So I kind of combining what you had mentioned with I felt like Dara's little nugget of find the time when you're at your best. What times of the day are you at your best, and can you reserve? And if you'll be dedicated to pouring into your business during those hours and in those moments when you are, most, mentally, energetic, I think that makes a big difference.
And doing the things that you don't want to do first, because otherwise it's easier to just be like, oh, I'll just do double tomorrow. And
Yeah.
then you do.
Yeah, that's right. Kim Carver always says if we just did the things that we liked to do about coaching, we would probably be okay, and we want to stick with our strengths, but we probably wouldn't be as successful as we could do. It's those that have the discipline to do the things that they don't like to do that makes the difference between being successful or being status quo. So great points. Guys, any questions for Brooke or any questions for me or for each other before we wrap today? All right.
What do you find your UK coaches are like running with the most? Like there's a lot, because it's like so much all at once. And I see some of mine that are a little like deer in the headlights. So is there a place, the ones that are really being loud and interactive, that you see them finding their footing quicker or more joy in it better? Does that make sense?
So most of mine have been training for a couple months leading into this, so they were kind of prepared. But with new coaches, like last night we had a call and we were literally 2 hours because I felt like there was just so much they needed to know. So we did like getting started right, and then we did social media and all that kind of stuff. So I've just been really available to help them and do calls pretty often. But we're just focusing on the basics, doing the 4 vital behaviors every single day, and then trying to hit Success Club this month. We're running a challenge group all together, so that they're all in their first one, and that they can invite their people too as well, and they're having some success with that. I think it's easier than them having to figure out how to run their own challenge group as well the first month. So I think I've kind of set up a lot of stuff for them so that really all they have to focus on is the 4 vital behaviors, and they're all doing pretty well with that. They love the personal development.
Cool. Thank you.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you.
All right. Hey, you guys, before we jump off, I'm just going to, I'm going to do another shameless plug here for November to Remember. I know we've had some discussion in there and getting people excited and, getting them committed. And here's, I guess, the thought I have, for today. If the program or the promotion itself, in and of itself, isn't getting the team, maybe some of your team members as excited as you'd hope that it would, be what's the right word here I'm going to look for? Be bold and make a personal invitation to them to do it because it's the right thing to do. Like even if again, like if you're, hey, get registered for November to Remember, they're giving out these prizes and here's the thing. And if they're not motivated by that, maybe they'll be motivated because you personally challenge them to do it. I'm personally challenging you to find a success partner for November that will hold you accountable, that will push you, that will help you to reach your potential for this month, because I know you can do it. Get personal with them. If the program in and of itself isn't quite getting that, getting them to make that step, then personally invite them, personally challenge them to find a success partner during the month that will push them, that will hold them accountable, that will help them to reach their greatest potential during the month, and see if they'll respond to a personal invite, to a personal challenge, to leaning in, to be their best selves because they can be. Not because there's a prize at stake, not because there's, a charitable donation at the end of the month, but because they can do it, they should do it. It will pay dividends for them in the long run. Grab back out, guys. I've tried to reintroduce us to that business activity tracker. I just think there's so much power in the basics behind the business and the business behind the business. And a lot of the emotional roller coaster stuff seems to level itself out when you take a business activity tracker and just do it. And it's like all those things I was worried about, all those little like, hey, what if this, what if that? Man, all of a sudden those ills are cured by just following with precision, a business activity tracker. And so anyway, just want to encourage us to be bold in challenging our team members, to rise to their full potential. So anyway, you guys, thanks for being on today. If you have any other things we need to go over or questions about stuff, PM me or put it in the thread, and I'll try to get back to it as soon as I can. So anyway, thank you so much. Have a great day, a great week. We'll see you guys all in Vegas.